So we're going to start with the smallest rectangle of vanilla paper. This is the 3 3/4 by 5 inch. And you're going to take your first color. It doesn't really matter which one you start with. I'm starting with crumb cake. And you're going to just cover about half of the paper with the color. Then you're going to pick it up and crumple it. Crumple it nice and tight. Open it back up. And then you're going to take your second color. And mine is I've got Pear Pizzazz here. And you can do this with any colors. It's kind of fun to play with. Every piece is going to look different. So just swipe your color over it and then go ahead and crumple it again. And then I'm going to come in with some Daffodil Delight. So you could stop at 3 colors if you wanted. I kind of like to use 4. My final color is going to be Granny Apple Green. You're going to go ahead and crumple it for the final time, and you can kind of try to crumple it in different spots. Get it nice and crushed. And then if you see spots that are still showing through with the vanilla paper, go back with your base color, the one you started with, and stick your finger kind of in those spots, and then go ahead and ink those up. And you might want some of the vanilla paper to show through. It's just kind of your choice how you want it to look. So once you have it colored the way you want, you can take your bone folder and flip it upside down and just go ahead and flatten it out. This is just going to make it easier to adhere to your paper. And it's going to be pretty wet from all the ink on it. You may even want to leave it dry before you adhere it. So before we start adhering things, let's finish with our stamping. So I'm just pulling in a piece of Very Vanilla that's big enough to do my main picture here. And what we're going to do is we're going to start with some soft suede for our deer. We're going to go ahead and stamp him right in the middle of our scrap piece. Then we want to ground him with some grass, and we're pulling back in the Daffodil Delight for the grass. And I'm not going to do any masking on this. What I'm going to do to make this look like it's behind the deer is I'm going to stamp it off on my paper. So it's just a little bit lighter. So it appears to be behind the deer. And then we've got our trees, and we're going to do those in the Pear Pizzazz. And again, we're going to stamp these off to make them lighter. and go ahead and place them behind the deer. Then we're going to go ahead and take a circle die and cut these out. Now I've cut also cut a circle just a little bit bigger of the soft suede. And I'm going to go ahead and layer these two together. Now you could use dimensionals if you wanted. I'm just doing it flat. I'm going to set that aside. Then we're going to do our greeting, and I've got my two pieces for this. I'm going to come in with my suede ink again. And I'm going to go ahead and stamp this over towards the right side. Now, if you had a banner punch for doing the ends, you could use that. I don't have mine with me today, so I'm just going to do this by hand. And then I like to put this on top of here, so that I can kind of match up my where I put these in case I don't have them right in the center when I'm doing it by hand. And then we can go ahead and adhere this together. And I'm putting the right sides even. So that's all ready. Now, I don't have any tan colored ribbon with me today, so I am going to take my white ribbon that was just a little bit too white for my liking for the camouflage card, and I'm just going to swipe my my crumb cake ink across it. Just to kind of tone it down a little bit. So if you don't have the exact ink, or I'm sorry, ribbon color that you want, this is a trick you can use to kind of color your ribbon a little bit. And then before you're done, if you're using a ribbon that's a little fluffy like this, take it off your ink pad so you don't end up with it in your next card. And then I wanted to kind of have the 2 points coming together on my ribbon. So I'm just going to, I might have gotten this piece of ribbon a little bit too long, so I'm going to shorten this and cut these. There, kind of like that. Then I have a piece of black and white baker's twine, and I'm actually going to staple these onto the card because I had a heck of a time gluing this ribbon. So I'm just going to catch both ribbons with the stapler. I don't know if you can see that. Go ahead and staple them on. And then tie my bow. Let's see. I need this little bit. Of course, you can futz with your bow and get it exactly how you want it. Now you might notice that I tied my bow upside down. For some reason, I find that I get the strings to go the right direction better that way. Now all we have left is just to layer all of our card pieces together. You might want to add a little bit more adhesive than you would normally use on this piece, just because of all the crinkles. And just go ahead and center it. And I'm not sure why, but I like to rub my card layers from the back. Of course, you have to be careful that you haven't got too much ink on your grid paper when you do that. Now here again, you could put the deer up with dimensionals, which I think I kind of like. Let's do that. It's kind of optional when you, for popping things up. If you're going to be mailing the cards, sometimes it's nice not to pop them up. And I kind of want my oval to, or my circle to hang just to the edge of the card. So there is our camouflage card. Now we also have our piece to go on the inside. And of course you're going to want to do your greeting and your stamping in there. You could even put the deer and the greenery again inside. I like to do that. Let's see if I can find it again here. And we don't even need to stamp off, or we could, just to finish up the card. Let's stamp off to make it match. And then our deer will be in front of it. So it's gonna echo the front of the card. And then we'll take our suede and do our deer. And then we'll put a greeting or leave it blank for writing. And I'm going to leave this card blank because it might be a birthday card or something else. And I'd love to see all the different color combinations that everyone comes up with. I mean, can you imagine? You could even do it in pink, right? Pink camo. So you have a great day, and thanks for stopping by.